Okay.
We good? Hey everybody, my name's Matt Leegey, and I am a Jacksonville Jaguars fan. For some of you are looking at me like, who the heck are these people? What do they do? And others of you are looking at me like, why is a kid from New Jersey a Jacksonville Jaguars fan? Well, it started out in 1995. The Jaguars are a new expansion team to the NFL, and I had to do a project for it in second grade, and just actually on Jaguars the animal, and I used them as an example, and I've been a devoted fan ever since. And it's kind of funny how you relate. That's my video. You kind of relate being a fan to a romance novel. You have ebbs and flows, ups and downs, joy, heartache. If you're an Eagles fan, you know what I'm talking about. So it really, so the Jacksonville Jaguars in 1995 were kind of the hot new thing coming in. They had very early success. From 96 to 99, they made the playoffs 4 years in a row, made it to 2 AFC championship games, just couldn't get over the hump. And in the past 12 years, they've made the playoffs twice and have only had 2 winning records, both of those times while they were in the playoffs. So they've been more or less the laughingstock of the league and the cornerstone of mediocrity. So this has really brought a lot of strain, tension in the relationship between the fans and the Jaguars and the NFL, because they're not a growing brand as they want them to be. So recently, they got a new owner, they got a new coach, so they're looking to go out into the right direction. But the main point here that I'm trying to tell you guys is that what I'm going to inform you about tonight is why the Jaguars should not leave Jacksonville, or should not leave Jacksonville and forego becoming a team in Los Angeles. Like I said, without the ticket sales, the Jaguars, as you can kind of see, this is during the middle of the game. A lot of teal going around, which is empty seats. You got tarp coming on the top of the stadium, so it looks like there's more people than there actually is. And they average about 45 to 50,000 people a game, which is less than Alabama gets when they're playing some crappy 1AA team. So that is the biggest concern that the Jaguars have in facing their brand, their company, going into the future. And this is a lot of speculation, like I said, that Jacksonville can't support a franchise and that they have to move to LA. So, according to Sam Farmer, the columnist for the LA Times, he wrote an article that said, many obstacles remain before the NFL returns to Los Angeles. So the road to LA for the Jaguars is actually a lot more difficult and not exactly a sure thing as everybody thinks. And that's why I'm here tonight to tell you why they should not leave Jacksonville. The first reason is moving isn't easy. The NFL owners want to control the path to Los Angeles. They're big, powerful, cutthroat businessmen, as we can all see from the NFL the refs lockout. They want what they want, that's it. So this is a quote from an anonymous owner that says the road to LA goes right through 345 Park, which Park Avenue is where the NFL headquarters is. So everything goes through Roger Goodell, everything goes through the owners. So they are not willing and not ready to have a new owner and a franchise that hasn't been succeeding go to LA because they failed there in the past. They don't want a franchise to go in and fail I believe it's a fourth time, because that just looks very bad on them, and it's just something that they don't want, they don't need publicity-wise right now. And that is one of the more famous owners, Jerry Jones, who's looking at a pot of gold, because LA, to the owners, is the proverbial pot of gold. It's the second largest market in the entire northern hemisphere. The team estimations was if the Jaguars moved there, they were bought for $750 million. They would almost triple to $1.5 billion just by moving to Los Angeles. And people like Jerry Jones don't want the new guy having that money. He's eyeing it up for himself. It's also a high cost and a high risk for the team. Like I said, if they don't do well, that makes them look even worse than they're already perceived right now. And it's a high risk, and a high cost, because the league is going to impose a high relocation tax on them, because obviously, like I said, the estimated value of their team would triple in almost an instant. It's also a high cost to taxpayers, because I don't know if anybody's aware of how stadiums get funded. More than 70% is footed by the public through extra taxes on, say, on luxury goods like hotels, restaurants, things of that nature, where this is the new plan for the Los Angeles football stadium. It's a little extravagant. It would cost close to $1 billion, if not over $1 billion. And 70% of that, $700 million, would be funded by taxpayers. The next point of why the Jaguars shouldn't leave Jacksonville is they have financial support. The NFL is the greatest, I guess, economic model in the way of revenue sharing, where the MLB has no salary cap. They have one team, as a Yankee fan, happens to be them, who can wave a blank check at any player, and they have the ability to come there. The NFL has a hard salary cap. Has a hard salary cap, where if teams go over, there's imposed penalties, and basically you just can't do it, otherwise you're going to have an issue. And as part of the revenue sharing, the NFL, in their new collective bargaining agreement last year, had a brand new TV contract nationwide, which they split equally. Gate sharing, which is tickets, concessions in each game. The visitor gets 40%. So if the Jaguars just show up to Jerry Jones' house, they get 40% of whatever Jerry Jones makes. And like I said, the hard salary cap. It's advanced in economic structure and penalties, such as the Cowboys and Redskins last year. And the final reason as to why they shouldn't leave Jacksonville is a competitive balance. A lot of that comes from the revenue sharing, where bigger is not necessarily better in the NFL. Just because you have a lot of money doesn't mean you win a lot of games, doesn't mean you win a lot of championships. The two winningest franchises are the Green Bay Packers and the Pittsburgh Steelers. Green Bay Packers are the smallest market in the entire world that have a franchise, as far as I know. It's basically a glorified town with a football stadium. 5 championships. Steelers, a mid-market, have 6, whereas the Philadelphia Eagles and the Chicago Bears have a combined 1 Super Bowl title, and they have been around since the 1920s, give or take. And the Any Given Sunday, Al Pacino, it's kind of a mantra that is true, because any given Sunday, you don't know who's going to win a game. There are so many different factors going into a game: coaching, scouting, drafting, that you can achieve all of this without having to have big pockets in a big market. So, in conclusion, the main reasons that the Jaguars should stay is that there's oppositions from the NFL owners, there's cost to the team for moving, there's cost of building the stadium to taxpayers, revenue sharing, and the competitive balance. And like I said, being a fan is like a romance novel. Up and downs, ebbs and flows, dark into light, and there's a light at the end of the tunnel for the Jaguars, and I believe that that is in Jacksonville. And that is